Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Legal Talk. I am the host of your show, John Mitchell, as you already know, and thank you so much, everybody, for being with us out there. Welcome back from that big commercial break. Oh my goodness, I am hoping that everybody got a chance to get up, stretch your legs, get the hot or cold beverage of your choice, be it adult beverage or PG beverage or whatever it may be, and hopefully you can get comfortable for this next segment because I got a real treat for everybody. It is always my pleasure to welcome my good friend Ryan Conn, who is a consultant extraordinaire, and he helps lawyers get kind of geared up with their law practices. Just a great overall guy and got some good information for us. So Ryan, welcome back to the show.
John, thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure, my good friend.
Yes, sir. Hey, listen, let me just jump right in. So, we were talking a little bit about strategic planning, and we were talking about growth for law firms. And so, I had, this question came up. So, what might be some essential components of a strategic plan for a law firm?
Love it. That's a question I actually get fairly often, not only in the legal realm, but just entrepreneurs and businesses all over. And what I always tell people, in order for you to develop a strategic plan, you must first have a vision. So you need to establish the vision of yourself, of your firm. And that is really simply put, where do you want to be when you grow up, right? And you can look at those goals. You can set it as I want to be $1 million or $5 million firm, or I want to be serving in these niche arenas only, or specializing in that certain area. And you can develop your vision. Once you have a vision, then you can get kind of into that strategic plan. And the strategic plan has to encompass at least a handful of things. At the very high level, you have to learn to delegate. Learning to delegate is a very difficult thing for a lot of business owners. And I find a lot of people in the financial realm, accountants, attorneys, even wealth planners and advisors, they seem to have a little bit more of an issue learning to delegate and letting go, taking their hands off the steering wheel and letting the autonomous vehicle drive itself. So generally, I deal with people that are either owners of their own law firm or at least have risen through the ranks to become partner. So we know at that point, walking in the door, that their work ethic is very strong. It's admirable. But that work ethic alone is not going to allow you to just fully achieve your vision. So learning to delegate is very important. And in an action plan, you need to assess your time. What are the things that I can hand off? If somebody else can do this job 70, 80% as well as I do, from me handing it off to them, you need to identify that task or that role, and you need to hand it off. And eventually, with just a little bit of reps and training, they'll do that job 100% as well as you can, possibly even better. And you're going to free up more and more time to work on those higher billable, more valuable components of running a firm. So that's probably the first thing I would attack after the vision, is learning to delegate and identifying those areas. Creating efficient systems is another great way to do it. Now, the systems can be actual software or a CRM that helps you communicate back and forth with your clients, or it could just be a workflow model. I usually start with job responsibilities when creating efficient systems and say, what is everybody supposed to be showing up and doing? Let's literally put it on paper. Let's identify as many bullet points as necessary, even if there's some overlap in the roles, and let's spew it all out onto the paper and start divvying it up with roles and responsibilities, and then ultimately people's names getting assigned to those roles. If we know what everyone's responsible for, and we know the path that the work product is supposed to go A to Z, the path that the client is supposed to follow, those efficient systems are really going to help us strategically grow, because again, efficiency and effectiveness of the delivery of the services are going to be the goal. That's where we start, is with the workflow. The next part is hiring. And sometimes we struggle just to find the right people, whether we're trying to hire credentialed attorneys, or we're looking at law students and paralegals and interns. Sometimes you just need administrators or marketing people, but hiring is a timing issue just as much as it is a personality or a pedigree issue. So hiring when the timing is right is what I like to really coach people on. And the timing can be felt or sometimes monitored. You can feel your workflow bubbling up. You're starting to get overburdened. You're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week when maybe you're trying to set a goal of only working 40. I know, shocking, that sounds pretty difficult. But if you get to that boiling point, you should be looking to hire right now, or as you realize you're getting to that, and you can use that through tracking the numbers, tracking billable hours, and looking at the workload of each of your employees. So hiring when the time is right is important, and the time is usually right before you think it is. So we do some analysis on that. And as far as kind of that hiring conversation goes, another really good strategy, especially with modern technology, modern time, and modern client expectations, is outsource what you can. If you can't hire for it directly, outsource it. As long as it's ethical and it's available, outsource that work product and let it funnel to you. And doing that is also kind of leading to my next point of using technology. If you can use technology as part of your plan, whether it's AI assistance, whether it's just automated email reminders and calendars, or a project manager inside your office that passes task and project and task and project on to the next person, the use of technology is a drastic tool that can help you grow very efficiently, very fast. And then probably your last strategy that I'm really going to hit on today is investing in type of marketing and branding. A lot of attorneys that I've worked with, and I've worked with a good handful and dozens, are very much, I want to say, cookie cutter. They have the same website, they offer the same set of services, and then they don't stand out by branding their client interactions or branding what they specialize in or why they're just a little different from their competition. So getting a branding and marketing strategy would be the last step that I would go for.
Well, I mean, that is excellent. I hope everybody out there is as thirsty as I was today. Good thing to come thirsty to the table, because we feel like we're drinking out of a fire hose here. That's a lot of excellent information. We really do appreciate it. Now, one of the things I heard you say is words to the effect of begin with the end in mind. So you got to have a vision, right? That vision, to get to that vision, you got to have some goals. So that really leads me into my next question for you. How can a law firm set what would be a realistic and achievable growth goals?
That's really good. One thing I want to caution people on here is a natural human condition. Most people overestimate what they can do in 6 months to a year. They overestimate. They say, I'm going to get all these things done. But we usually see a really quick caveat to that would be like, look at people's New Year's resolutions, right? They overestimate that. But people drastically underestimate what they can do in 3 and 5 and 10 years. And so when we start setting our growth goals, we need to set both the shorter, more accessible, low-hanging fruit goals that we can easily achieve to keep our steps moving forward. And then we need to put more challenging steps at the 2, 3, 5, 10-year mark of our growth goals. And one of the ways to do that is you can say, hey, if I'm a $1 million firm, let's use easy numbers, I want to be a $1.2 million firm by the end of the year. And then you work backwards. Say, I'm going to do that by, maybe you're going to cull the herd a little bit. You're going to get some maybe recurring clients that you always struggle to get them to pay the bill, or if they have to pay things up front, they have to provide services, they just are really demanding, or they don't give you what you need, they cancel meetings. You might have to call the herd in order to create growth and create opportunity for a better, more valuable client. Someone that is going to come to the meeting, somebody that is going to not argue about the bill, they see your value and they do that. And if you can just get the time saving and the swap out of those people, those goals are really good. Most people can do the 10-80-10. Some people just call it the 80-20 rule. It's the same thing. Sit down and identify your top 10% of your clients, the ones that you never have to worry about. They're great clients. You represent them well. They're on nice, healthy retainers. They appreciate your value. And then your business is probably really run off of that 80%. The people that are your stock average run-of-the-mill client, and they pay the bills, they do things. But then it comes to that bottom 10%. These are the painful ones. That 10% is probably consuming 80% of your time, yet they're only generating 10% of the bills. Go physically write those names down. Talk to your staff members, talk to your partners. Who are the clients that are sucking the life out of our company? And one of the first achievable growth goals I tell people to set is to actually cut some clients in order to make room for the better clients. And then you're going to profile those clients. You're going to have an examination. You're not going to take everybody that walks across the street, but they're going to meet your service style. They're going to see your value, and they're going to cooperate and comply with your needs in order to best serve them. That's where I would start with strategic growth.
Man, oh man, that is not the first time I've heard that, cull the herd. So you got to get rid of the, it's the 80-20 principle, get rid of that, 20% that's causing 80% of your headaches. And now once you've done that, okay, so last question for you, this is going to be a tricky one. So last question, so once you've done that and you've gotten rid of your not so productive clients and you got your, kind of focusing on the wheat, not the chaff, right? So what kind of strategies can a law practice then use to start to expand their client base? What do you recommend for that?
Gotcha. So I like to tell people to do both the organic and the strategic corporate model. And the organic one is literally ask people for referrals. Hey, did I represent you well? Hey, if you have any, let's say you're doing corporate and you're helping buy sell agreements and you're doing a lot of corporate work, say, hey, do you have any of your buddies that I can call that need work like this? And then don't just rely on them to go out and tell their friends. Ask them for the contact, ask them for the information. Hey, Johnny told me to call you. He said you might need my services. So some of that organic growth is going to be a great way to do it because you're getting that personal touch, that personal referral. Another way to grow your business is to proactively reach out to your existing clients. Set a quarterly or bi-monthly email that just says, hey, checking in on you. How are you? What's going on with life? How are things going? More casual, and it can be automated. And when they see that, they know their attorney or their firm is thinking about them. And they say, oh, by the way, I need to call him. I need to get this written up. Oh, I need to ask him these questions. And you're going to develop contracts and engagements and billable hours from that. One of the growth strategies as well is make sure that people, when they walk in your office, this is a really cool growth strategy, know that it is a client-focused firm. It is a client-focused firm. They come in there and they say, wow, I am what is important. They are here to serve me, and move ego off of the table and understand that you're here to serve them. Now you have your boundaries, you have your expectations, and you have your ethical and legal things that you must comply with, but it still does need to be client-focused ultimately. It's not just a transaction at a grocery store where you're buying something and moving on. And I think that's really important. And then the last one I would really say is adapt to the new opportunities. So one of the firms that I worked with really enjoyed and wanted to kind of specialize in criminal defense. And they went into criminal defense, but they were open to all venues and they did some corporate work. Well, within 1 year, they had 40 people inquire about their corporate services, writing contracts, doing buy-sell agreements and things like that. Even though in their mind, they said, hey, I want to kind of force myself down the criminal path. They said, I'm going to maintain adaptability to these opportunities. And out of those 40 clients that contacted them, they were able to pick up just over 30. I think it's 31 or 32 of those engagements. And they expanded by almost $800,000 on the year. Not all from those engagements, but much of it from that. And so if you just maintain adaptability, keep your head on a swivel, you might get into a realm where you just stumble into, by your chance to take opportunity, an $800,000 growth in just 1 year.
Excellent. Oh my God. So let me just, we're about to the end of our segment. So let me just ask you this one thing. So if people want to get those good results that you can help them get, how do they go ahead and get in contact with you, sir?
Probably the best way to get a hold of me would be phone call or website. It's csbizcon.com. It's at the bottom of the screen. That's csbizcon.com. Or the phone number to our office is 270-442-6688. And we share that phone number with the accounting firm that I run as well. So you just ask for the accounting firm or CS Business Consulting, and you'll get us at both places. And you can also look us up.
That is so excellent. I hope that people, definitely pick up the phone and call or go online and get that wheel set in motion. So thanks very much, Ryan, for being with us. We really appreciate it. And we are going to go to some quick commercial breaks, and we will be right back.